So, as I mentioned earlier this morning, today we're here to explore reconciliation as a collective pathway to restoring unity and dialogue in society. But we also want to approach it from a practical, actionable perspective, examining how each of us can become agents of reconciliation. And to talk about this, and I need your attention for this, please. We are delighted. It's a great honor, really, to be connecting live with a leader who has been nominated 3 times for the Nobel Peace Prize. She's the founder of the Oxford Research Group, author of the famous Business Plan for Peace. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Scilla Elworthy. Hello, Scilla. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm very happy to be with you. It's lovely that you're holding this forum in the way that you're doing it. I'm full of admiration.
Thank you so much, Scilla. We're having great conversations here indeed. Now, Scilla, you have developed a program called The Mighty Heart in Action. And that's a program to learn from changemakers who dedicate their lives to resolving some of the world's most pressing challenges or conflicts across the world. In this process, Scilla, you have identified core skills that can help build more peaceful societies across all spheres of life. And this is what you're going to talk us through today to become reconciliation agents. Scilla, we are all ears.
Oh, well, delighted to be with you. What I can share with you today are the critical skills needed for these challenging and turbulent times that we live in. And this set of skills came to me in late 2019, just before COVID struck. And now skills have become an online course that's being used all over the world. Why? Because it enables people like you to connect the compassionate, creative power of your heart to the rational logic of your mind, equipping you with a toolbox of skills for the kind of leadership needed in our world now. The first module of the course is a powerful and very unexpected question. What breaks your heart? Why do we ask you this question? Because when you and I can own the loss, the grief, often the anger in our lives, we can discover and tap into a vast energy for change. The power that lies beneath heartbreak is huge. So we're going to investigate that now. We can progress to the fundamental skill that can resolve any conflict, and you will know that. It's deep listening. Most conflicts drag on and on because those concerned can't hear each other. We, are simply insisting on our point of view. However, when you can actually listen to someone that you disagree with or dislike, you can actually reveal a goldmine of vital information that you can then use to get to the root of the conflict. It takes courage, but once you learn the skill, it changes any disagreement, I've never seen it fail, into a dialogue. The next skill is heart-centered communication. What do we mean by that? When you're able to open your heart, it makes compassion possible. Why? How? You can feel. And when you can feel, it can change family life. I've seen it even transform international negotiations. Why? Because people are suddenly connected. An open heart opens other hearts. It can even stop a massacre, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Then comes taming your inner critic. What is an inner critic? It's that voice inside you that says, who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Let me just ask you, Who here does not have an inner critic? Please raise your hand. Well, at least 90% of us are plagued by what's called imposter syndrome. That's feeling we're not good enough, we're not up to the job. And this course teaches us how to transform this inner critic into an ally, even a guide. And that goes closely hand in hand with cleaning our anger. You and I know how it feels when we're boiling with fury, frustration, irritation, and we know what chaos it can cause if we blurt out that anger. So we teach people the skill to turn the power of your anger into an internal fuel, a fuel that gives you the energy and the courage to put right cruelty and injustice. And now I have a story for you that's about developing presence in a crisis. We all know that when a crisis hits, what we need is presence. We need to be able to be really there. So here's what happened in Najaf in the Iraq War. Lieutenant Colonel Chris Hughes was leading his men down a street in Najaf when out of the side streets and the mosques came furiously angry men, screaming and yelling and waving their fists. And these young men that he was leading didn't speak any Arabic. They had no idea what was going on. Chris Hughes walked into the midst of his men and he gave them an order they had never heard in their lives. Kneel! And they wobbled to the ground, lowered their weapons into the sand and bowed their heads. And what happened? Complete silence. The angry men were stunned. The guns were on the ground. Chris Hughes had had the sheer presence to defuse what would have become a massacre. And we can train ourselves to have the kind of immediate presence, that presence that can defuse a tense situation at any time and can actually save lives. Then we come to right brain intelligence. Left brain, linear thinking, is obsessed with measurement, results, and winning. The right brain supplies balance by seeing the whole picture and using compassion to find solutions that benefit everyone. And we can show you how to access your right brain intelligence to see the full picture. I'm giving you very brief descriptions of what is a huge amount of learning. So number 8 is growing your own mighty heart. And here you'll understand the tools for managing the physical and emotional effects of burnout and stress. We all are subject to that. So when faced by an apparently insoluble problem, we learn how to develop the habit of using intuition as a resource for action. Intuition is very, very powerful when you're in a spot. And then, almost finally, how do you take a stand? When there's an issue that you really care about, you have to learn, we have to learn, I've had to learn, to be able to stand up and deliver my message with courage, clarity, presence, and purpose. I always find it best to stand up when I need to say something that's really important. And we can learn how to do that without provoking resistance. That's the key. And so we come to the final module. The mantra of the last century was, what can I get? But the new mantra of this century is, what can I give? So we're becoming part of the millions worldwide who've decided to get into action to build a safer future and to be of service to their family, communities, to people in need, their teams, their clients, their constituencies. It's way beyond simply earning money to do the job. This is being in service. So to sum up, the message overall is this: you, everyone here, can think and act with your heart. And it will make a very big difference to other people and to yourself every day. If you're interested, do get in touch. It's called mightyheart.co.uk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scilla, for this very soothing presentation and this great question: what is my gift to this world? Thank you so much for sharing those tips and those tips around how to turn that inner critic into a positive fuel, a positive energy to change the world. That's very helpful indeed. And you mentioned the power of presence, of connecting with the here and the now, and that's so important indeed. Scilla, Elworthy, thank you so much. Really appreciate your presence with us today. Thank you.
You're welcome.